This solo Berserker build is extremely strong. It is very fun to play. It achieves crazy damage numbers while being extremely tanky, heavy in invulnerability skills in the kit. It has crazy good rune access and sustain baseline as well. This is just a perfect build to play without any allies in Guild Wars 2. Can kill almost any boss in the open world or even instance content if you will. So if you're interested, be sure to watch the whole video to not miss out a thing about this amazing build. As always, special shout out to all my supporters on YouTube, Twitch and Patreon. And now, without much further ado, let's jump right in. So let's start with the gear. For the gear, you want to run full Celestial with Superior Rune of the Trapper, just the most amount of damage that you can get. For infusions, if you can afford them, of course go with condition damage infusion. So for weapons, you want to run Longbow and Sword Torch, all of which are Celestial again. However, the sigils should be Frailty and Earth on the Longbow. On the Sword, you should have Geomancy and Torment on the Torch, just for the most amount of condition damage that you can get, while also upkeeping vulnerability to 25 stacks. For your trinkets, again, full Celestial. However, for the Relic, I would go with Relic of the Fractal for the most amount of damage, just the best option. If you are somewhat not always solo, when you have just random players around you, then Frailty doesn't provide that much value and you can easily swap it, for example, to Bursting to get even more damage out. But if you're really alone, Frailty will be the best option. For food and consumables, you would go with Peppered Cured Meat Flatbreak for the minus 10% incoming damage and the condition damage and expertise. If you can't afford the Ascended version, you would go with Koi Cakes, just the best option there for people that are on a budget. Yes, the stats are swapped, but it's still very worthwhile. If you don't need the minus 10% incoming damage reduction, you can also go for the Cilantro and Cured Meat Flatbreak for a little bit more damage and some healing. But as this build doesn't have protection, I think that minus 10% incoming damage is actually quite nice. And for utility consumables, I would always go with Master Tuning Crystals. It's just the cheapest and best option. By the way, if you want to try out more different builds, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I release a lot of new build guides for you. So for the traits, you go with Arms, Defense and Berserker. Arms provides a lot of condition damage. You get more crit chance and more fury. That's nice. You get even more crit chance and condition damage. And you get just passive bleeding, and the bleeding duration is increased. You will crit quite a lot because of fury, and you also have quite a high amount of baseline crit. So you actually get that quite often. Then you gain expertise based on your precision, very good, just more stats. Then you get crazy amount of vulnerability from this trait, really, really good. And then lastly, this is the most broken trait here in this whole trait line. Critical hits grant bonus adrenaline and gain a stacking condition damage effect. So first of all, this solves a lot of your adrenaline issues. And second of all, it gives you 25 stacks almost permanently of this buff, which gives you 15 condition damage per stack. It's actually really crazy how much you get actually from that. Then in defense, that's your defensive trait line, who would have thought? So you get passive protection when you use a healing skill. You get crazy amounts of passive healing. It's really, really good. And then you get just some reduced incoming damage while you have resolution. You get some nice duration decrease of immobilized, cripple and chill. That's not that crazy, but when you are afflicted by those, which can be quite frequent, you get regeneration. So you can almost 100% upkeep this, just regeneration. It's really nice. Then you get some passive End Your Pain. So when you use your elite skill, which is Headbutt, you will actually get 4 seconds of invulnerability against direct damage. It's really, really strong, and it has a 20 seconds cooldown because of the Headbutt. And then Cleansing Ire, you get passive adrenaline when you get hit, and when you use your burst skills, you actually remove conditions for each adrenaline bar spent. It's really, really good just for Condi cleanses, but also for adrenaline generation. This trait and this trait together make it possible that you can spam all your burst skills all the time, even without running discipline. Then you have Berserker. Berserker gives you a lot of nice utility, so you can use both of those traits. It's a little bit dependent on what you like more. I personally like the Smosh Brawler just for more crit chance and a little bit more damage because of that. And when you hit with your primal burst skills, you extend the duration of your Berserk, which is really nice, and you will do that quite frequently. If you want to get a little bit more burning damage out and don't care about the crit chance, then you can also go for Last Place. It's mostly the same. It's really doesn't make too much of a difference which one you take here. This is a little bit harder to upkeep the Berserk form permanently. So I think it's, for me, I like to be permanently in Berserk and be really safe there. So that's why I take this one. But if you want to go for a little bit more damage, this would be the option. Then you take Heat the Soul. It's amazing for just upkeeping quickness, fury, and might. It's really, really good. You also give passively might, super speed, and fury when you enter Berserk. That's also quite nice. And you get more power and condition damage while you're in there. And then lastly, increase the duration of burning your blight, quite nice, just more damage. And gain fire aura when you critically hit an enemy, also quite nice. And Berserker skills detonate fire aura, damaging and burning nearby foes. So that's very important. We will get to that in a second because of the rotation. But you can detonate your fire aura. You can actually get fire aura quite frequently. And whenever you use a skill that detonates it, you deal some nice damage, but you lose the fire aura. So you have to be aware of that. Always try to juggle, so to say, fire aura on, detonate it, get another one, and continue like that. It's really, really good. When it comes to the skills, you want always to run Blood Reckoning for Great Justice, Shattering Blow, Outrage, and Headbutt, because Headbutt is a nice passive in your pain. It's a stun and a self-stun. If you break it with the Outrage, you actually get bonus duration increase. So those two increase the duration as well of your Berserk form. Then this one is a nice stability and a reflect. Also some nice damage, and it extends as well and blocks attacks. It's really overloaded, really good skill. And then of course for Great Justice for Fury and Might, you should spam that. And then Blood Reckoning, you take that not only for the nice healing, but also for the Berserk duration increase. Keep in mind, this is not only healing at the start, but also heals with damage to healing. So if you heal a lot of damage after you cast it for the next 5 seconds, you actually get crazy good amount of healing as well. In your weapon skills, you have a great kit as well. So you have a nice jump, that is a leap finisher. You have some nice execute here in the 3 skill. You have the 4 skill here, some nice blast and some nice burning and just damage. And the Flames of War skill is really, really strong because it removes a condition, 2 conditions rather. It is a combo field fire, and therefore you can jump through it and get the fire aura, and it does a lot of burning damage as well. On your longbow, you have a nice blast finisher on your 3. You have a nice daze and some nice physical projectile combo finisher, which can be useful because you have fire fields down all the time, so you get burning from that. Then you have bleeding and immobilize from the pin down. And of course, Van of Fire, just a crazy amount of burning as well, especially if you cast it in melee range. When it comes to the burst skills, you should always use your Berserk burst skills, so your primal bursts, which deal quite a lot of burning damage. And this one here is also some long cast, so keep that in mind. If you need to dodge an attack, don't spam the F1 skill on sword. When it comes to the rotation, it's quite straightforward actually. So you start the fight by using Flames of War and Blazebreaker, use Final Thrust, and if you want, you can also go for Savage Leap. It depends a bit on your playstyle. I personally keep it. And then you swap to Longbow, use your Headbutt, go into Berserk form, and Stun Break if you can with Outrage. And then you can use your F1 in the Longbow, reset it with Blood Reckoning. While doing that, you should use your Great Justice, use your Shattering Blow, and then you use your Longbow skills. So that would be Pin Down, Van of Fire. If you don't have 25 Might, you use Arcing Arrow as well in the fire field, and use your Smoldering Arrow to get some nice burning procs. After that, you repeat these skills of cooldown and use your F1 whenever it comes off cooldown. You try to use your F1 on the longbow 3 times before swapping to sword. On sword, you always use your 4 and 5 and use your Savage Leap through them and detonate the fire aura with one of your Berserk skills or your F1. If you don't have anything else up, you can use the auto attack, but you should prioritize getting the primal burst on sword as well up. And always try to use it at least once, maybe twice on this rotation, but as soon as the weapon swap comes off cooldown, go to longbow because it's a bit better in that. Like I said, use your For Great Justice of cooldown, always use your Blood Reckoning on longbow, and use your Headbutt and your Outrage and always in conjunction, so always Headbutt first, then Outrage to stun break. Because the cooldown of Outrage is half as long as Headbutt, you can use Outrage once to extend the duration without any stuns, or keep it for a stun break if the boss is necessary, and of course use the Shattering Blow of cooldown. That's the rotation. So I really enjoy this build. It's really fun. It's my favorite Warriors solo build for sure. And I think it's, in my opinion, also the most flexible and strong one. I hope you enjoyed this quick guide. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. As always, thanks a lot to my dear supporters that help me keep the lights on. If you're more of a Bladezone fan, be sure to check out this video. And if you're more of a Spellbreaker fan, be sure to check out this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.